Hello and welcome everyone to round 2 of the COR here at our all favorite track at Vietnam GP. Today a circuit that is 5.6 kilometers long, which we all just love so very much. And I will see if I can get us into qualifying here, which is already begun. But you're here with me, Shady, and I will take you through the race of today. So, qualifying, I'm just loading it right here. I've been stuck at sea, that's why we're a little bit late, but we should be good to go. If I can just get everything correctly. And here we are, just in qualifying. Ooh, so we don't have any sound. Why is that? Well, that is weird. There we go. So currently we have Nico leading the GP, or leading the qualifying. So very sorry. But there's still 30 minutes to go, and we'll see people coming quicker and quicker. So Vietnam, the track we all love. We will see if we can go with Nico here. Nico currently setting the fastest time. And I do apologize for calling out Nico last time around. I'm just fixing things. And let us just get rid of this. Is it still too loud, the game? Let me see if I can tune it down a little bit. I know I was too loud last time, so... Oh, and we don't want my mouse width. I'll have to just fix that real quick. As Nico pits here, currently with 133.8. Second car is currently Revolution with a ooh. We don't want that. There we go. So Fungus currently in provisional third place with 135.0, so he has a long way to go. That's 1.2 seconds behind the current pole sitter. And how does it sound now, Peter, if you're still here? Does it sound good? Good enough? So, soon coming down to the 10-minute mark here of qualifying as people are coming in to get new tires on and set quicker lap times. Nico, who we're gonna see if we can get with him, we cannot at this very moment, set very good laps last time around and was out in the front, but unfortunately they had a few crashes and had to retire from the race as everyone is now coming into the pits. We'll go with the Renault here of Richard, and I'll see if I can get our results from last time up here. Just give me a second. So currently only Richard and Lars out on their fast laps. Sorry for the language. So currently we have Dane here who's on his outlap. We'll go with him for a little while. Dane, who did win last time around, did that very solid race and multiple seconds out in front, followed by Fluffy, who is actually not out on track today, so we might not see him. After that, we had Cubson. Oh no, sorry, we had Das Einzig, who actually finished third due to Cubson's time penalty. But that is what it is. Sadly, we don't have Cubson with us today. But then it was Cubson, Aluminium, Revolution, Colin, Fungus, Richard, and we had Nibber to round up your top 10 last time around. But this time it's a completely different track here at Vietnam, a very technical track, a very difficult track, and since it's a street circuit, we have the walls very close. Currently though, Nico, as we will jump with him here, I think we'll jump on board with him, is leading, and he has a lap almost 1 second quicker than anyone else at the moment. And we'll see if he's able to improve with about 8.5 minutes to go off qualifying. It's a very difficult track here, right left-hander, followed by this very weird left-hander where you have to go out wide and then sneak into left, but it seems like he's backing off, letting Jamie through there. So not on a quick lap here. We'll see if we can jump with Jamie actually. We haven't seen a lot of Jamie. He hasn't got a lot of screen time. Opens the DRS. With that nice black Mercedes. With a very, very difficult left-hander. You have to brake very hard, very late to make the apex. Jamie seemingly have practiced this track though. And yes, Peter, it's actually pretty competitive. This is split 1. We have 2 splits in the league. So this is split 1 out of 2, so all these guys have qualified in. I was gonna, but myself, I didn't have the time at the moment, so I missed out. And here I am. So with Jamie, yet to set the time. Out in the fast lap, will come over the start-finish line here. And he sets a 37.2, so Jamie coming up into provisional P2. We have both the Mercs up in front, which is a very familiar sight from real life. But it's closer behind, and we will just see faster and faster lap times as Jamie very nicely there stays out of the way. As we have a yellow sector, probably because Jamie is going slow there. As we will jump here with Einzig and the only McLaren we have on track today. Einzig, who of course then finished 3rd last time around after a race-long battle. As a Revolution tops the charts with a 133.83. That's just 500ths quicker than Nico in P2. And I think we will have a very tight field today. As OEPS puts Jamie down to 4th as he takes 3rd position with a 134.0. Still about 2 tenths, almost 3 to P1. Ooh, as there's a bit of traffic there, but they seem to make it out nicely. And Jamie here staying out of the way of the Williams and Mercedes. Ooh, that's the Williams squealing a bit behind. That's Dane, who had a solid qualifying and even more solid race last time. Ooh, very tight into pits, but they seem to make it out, and I do believe it's Jamie out front, is it? Yeah, so Jamie and Dane there cuddling up as they want to come in and get their tire switched before their last hot laps here of qualifying. As we see almost everyone in the pits, we're going to jump with OEPS here. who is out on a lap. Not sure if it's a quick lap or not. I suspect he will be coming into the pits here soon though. The pit entrance here is a bit sketchy, as you will see hopefully here. It's on the left side coming up after these few corners. If I am right, yeah. So up. After this left-hander, you will have to stick to the left-hand side to enter the pits there. So it's a bit sketchy because you don't come straight in as you normally would. You kind of have to cut the track, more or less, depending on how much on the racing line you are. We will jump out with Der Hammer. Currently P9 with that lovely looking Red Bull. Four minutes to go of qualifying, so these will be some of the last few laps we see from these guys. As their hammer is really working his tires, I think he really needs to get that temperature up. Yeah, and I mean, I think the game has very nice sounding. As Hammer now starts his out lap, we'll ride with him for this lap. A small lockup there, but it seems to make it. And this corner is very tricky. You have to get out wide on the inside, but he makes it nicely out to the long straight here. And up to the kink where the DRS will open. Around there, you hear the beep. He is a bit slow with DRS here, but he gets it open. Into the right-hander, and ooh, completely misses it. Ooh, and that is Hammer out. He completely missed his braking point there. Not a happy sight. So that is Hammer out. It seems like he didn't even brake there, he just went straight into it. As we will jump with Nico. Nico currently P2. Known to be quick though. And we'll see here, as this will be probably his last lap unless he has fuel for two. Nico now opens his DRS into the same corner we just saw Hammer crash out in. But Nico hits the brakes well. Very nice apex there. And he makes the corner very nice. And I think we will see a quicker lap here from Nico. As we can see, Nico uses all of the track that's available to him. Coming into the latter part of the track here, it becomes a very bendy track. A lot of corners. Out towards the start-finish straight. And Nico does improve, 133.7, so it's very tight. Very tight indeed out here. And I wonder, will he continue on a quick lap? It looks like he's on another quick lap. As we will keep eyes on a Revolution, as Dane is out of the session as well, with not very much time to go. As I think we will see a lot of people put in their fastest lap times of the session soon enough. Fungus pit, so Fungus will not improve. As now Revolution also started his last hot lap. So, Nico currently provisional pole, but that might change very quickly as we know. Still on a fast lap, trying to improve all he can. Into the last few corners. As we will now see the checkered flag being waved for qualifying. Nico into the last few corners. Out on the start-finish straight. Oh, and actually he pits instead of going out on the start-finish straight. So Nico not improving. We will go with the Revolution here in the Haas. Who is on a quick lap. As we can see, it's very tight corners. A right left-hander, followed by another right and left-hander. Out to the start-finish straight. It's a very tricky corner to get right. You really want that exit to do well. And here is out to the start-finish straight, sorry. Crosses the line and does improve to P1 with a 133.6, so that's a very quick lap. We'll come here with OEPS in the AlphaTauri. And will he be able to do anything to get that provisional pole? At the moment it seems like he is shifting a bit weird, so I don't think he is on a quick lap. We'll see here soon enough. I think he's just driving at this point, yeah, and he has backed off, so that will not be a quick lap unless we have some desync here. And he does not improve. So, that concludes qualifying. We have OEPS in third. So, qualifying. Revolution with a blistering 133.6, followed by Nico 133.7 with just 1/10 behind. Then we have a bigger gap of about 3/10 down to OEPS in P3, followed by Jamie shortly after P4. Then we have Fungus in the Racing Point P5, Dane who won last time around all the way down in P6, followed by Lars in P7, Das Einig in 8, Slouchy Carrots in P9, and CR Hammer, Daryl Hammer to round up your top 10. And in 11 and 12 we have Blaze and Richard in the Renaults. So that is your qualifying. As we're now coming out for the formation lap. With a little bit of loading. And I do hope we don't have the bug. There is a bug. Oh no, it seems like we have people loading in now. Session is starting in 20 seconds, so we will hope that everyone loads in. There is an issue sometimes with these Formula 1 games where people get stuck in an infinite loading loop. With 13 seconds for the formation lap, it seems like most people are dropping in. 2 still to go with 5 seconds. Lars and Blaze. Lars is finished and we're waiting for Blaze. Blaze, not just getting there, but there we seem like we have him. As here we have our strategy for today. It's a 2-stopper, most probably either medium to soft, as it disappeared on me there. So the medium to soft or mediums to hard, I believe. I suspect we will see medium soft for most of the people. Or sorry, soft to mediums for the guys starting on the soft, of course. I will see if we can actually get the quick look here. So everyone in the top 10, of course, starting in the soft and probably switch to mediums, while the Renaults back in 11 and 12 actually starting on medium, which might be an opportunity for the two of them to make up some positions there. So that will be very interesting. Let's see what we have. So yeah, 11th and 12th, but that might gain them a little bit in time rather than Hammer, who's in P10 with the soft. So interesting there to see what the difference will be. As we are coming here on the formation lap, for all our favorite track, Vietnam, here in Hanoi, with the Vietnam GP. Sad to see there's only 12 drivers, but I guess today is just one of those days. As my phone is going off. And I'll have to check that after the start. But here we go, lining up on the grid. As we see the green flag being waved in the back. And we're all ready for the Hanoi GP. As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And off we go for the Hanoi GP, and it seems like it's a very good start for Hammer there. No, sorry, for Revolution there, but the Mercs are right with them. Ooh, as there is very tight in the field behind. But it seems like we all got off somewhat cleanly, except for Einzig and Jamie there having a few scraps in the back. So to start off we have Revolution and Nico, followed by I do believe it's the two AlphaTaurs of Oweps and Lars. But as we know, these graphics are a little bit off the first lap. I think it's getting corrected itself now. So Revolution, Nico, Oweps, Lars, Fungus, Dane. And then we're a bit off there. But it seems like we have a little bit of gap down to the AlphaTaurs and then Fungus after that. So, and then there's a little bit more closer back in the field. But our timings are a bit off, and I believe that will be corrected in the end. There's some lockups from the AlphaTaurs there. I believe that was Lars locking up. As Revolution now crosses the line. Our timings are all kind of funny. Revolution goes a little bit wide there, but he does not seem to lose anything by it, and this is crazy. Hoping that the timing screen will fix itself very soon. So Revolution followed by Nico, Oweps, Dane, made up the positions, Delhamel, Fungus, Einzig, and I do believe that was Slouch right behind them, yeah, followed by the two Renaults. Renaults, of course, on the medium tire, while the rest is currently on the soft, so I think the Renaults will be dropping back, as I think the counter here has now reset itself. So a good start there by Revolution, but Nico is right on his gearbox now and will be looking to make a move here shortly. So out turn lap 2, and it seems like they're already building a gap to the guys behind, but Nico will not let Revolution go quite just yet. As we will ride on with Nico here for a little short while, and I'll be right there with you. and I apologize for that. We are back. And Nico there with a beautiful overtake, but Revolution won't quite just yet. They're still within DRS, which will open here around now. I think. Nope, sorry. Wrong straight, I believe. This is still a new circuit to me, but we see Revolution just closing in a little bit again in the slipstream, and he will have DRS open here soon. We did have Jamie, it's said, out of the Grand Prix, but it seems like he's still in it, so I'm not sure what that was about. Happy to see he's still in it. And this is the fight we are watching for P1 currently, with Revolution right behind Nico. Nico slowly making a gap, but during the straight it seemed like Revolution is closing in a bit. And there we come again, see if how much, yeah, and Revolution just closing in a little bit there on the straight, just not enough I think, then I think we'll see Nico just inching out a bit by bit by bit. So very well done by Nico to take that P1 at the moment. As again we see Revolution on the straight just closing, and he is just on the gearbox by down the straight, 4/10 right behind. So just a blink of an eye behind Nico there. As he has a little bit of slide and he loses a lot of time. He will come out of the 1 second gap of DRS, and that will hurt Revolution a lot. So Revolution, who's just pushing a tiny bit too much I think, and that will harm his race. We'll jump down here. We have Slouchy pitting. Slouchy, who seems to have damage actually on his front. Not able to see if we can see that. As Slouchy retires, and it seems like he might have a bit damage on his wing there. I don't think he is retiring. He might come out again. No, Slouchy is out. So we've had a few bugs. Yeah, the game's not too happy about that. The Slouchy out of the race, I believe. So, the battle here for 4th then, with Dane right behind Lars. So, it's Williams versus AlphaTauri, the two wider cars. And that is white, not white. Even though these drivers can make their cars, as we've seen, very wide on track as well. As Dane is just chasing on and on and on. And we see DRS open here from Dane, as he will close the gap down again to about 6/10 behind Lars. So battle for P5 this is. And we know Dane is quick. Dane, who won the last time around in Albert Park in Melbourne. And I think he will do everything to gain as many positions as he can. As we see DRS opens here again. As Dane is just showing himself in the rearview mirrors of Lars there, but not close enough to make a move. But he will keep closing, and the next time around I think we might see a move getting done here. So Dane really sticking on the rear. As we see Lars weaving a little bit to make Dane not get the slip lane. Dane closing in a lot though with the DRS, as we will see him now go side by side with Lars. And he makes the pass with DRS. Will he be able to make it stick though? As he blocks up a little bit into the corner, but he makes the move stick. Oh, as he has a big slide out of there, but it seems like Lars has crashed. Lars has crashed. Pushing a little bit too much, and we can see that right hand side of the wing is a little bit broken. The side of the wing there, now left on your screen. So Lars is probably just losing it in the dirty air, and he will have to pit for a new wing now, because that will harm his race a lot as well. A shame to see. So we'll jump down with Jamie. Jamie, who we had, I think, pitted was when Jamie as well having damage on his wing there, his left hand side this time around. As lap 8, now we see two people pitting, and I think the people will start pit about now, the people on soft tires, to switch to the medium tires. We will see if we can actually take a look at that. And yeah, we see Einzig switching to the medium tire, as well as Einzig to the medium tire, and Lars onto the hard tire there. So Lars, a little bit different strategy than the rest of the field. maybe trying to do that one stopper and just make it last longer. But I do think the guys switching now to medium might be able to pull them all the way through as well, even though the tires will fall off the cliff in the end there. So looking at stops here then, we have Einzig, Richard, Lars and Fungus on a one stop. Slouchy is out with a two stops, and Jamie is actually yet to stop. I thought we had stopped, but he had not for his wing. But we will do see that damaging now, as Einzig is looking for a way around and makes that move. Or was... yes. As they go side by side here, but Jamie with the DRS, Einzig on the inside, locks up a little bit. Luckily he does not hit Jamie, but that will hurt his corner a lot, and he will again lose a bit of time to Jamie, so Einzig will have to push again. And this is not what Einzig wants with his new fresh medium tires. Jamie of course on the old hard soft tires, which will be more dead than ever now, as we see big chunk of the pack coming into pits. We'll have to look at that, as Revolution is right behind Nico, still in the pits, and it seems like actually might have closed a tiny bit through the pit stops to Nico, but just not enough to have anything done there. So currently we still have their Hammer and OEPs to make their pit stops, as a lot of the field is now pitting. I think it's only their Renault who will push their tires a bit longer, as they start on medium instead of the soft. As who is that? That is Hammer and Nico, I believe. That's Nico has come out of the pits on fresh tires, and Hammer is still yet to pit. As Revolution now will try to make the move, sticking into the DRS, and I think maybe Revolution has a problem with the DRS, because we don't see it open at all, and I wonder if that might hurt him. He might have been much closer to Nico if he was able to open it. So now we'll have to stick behind Hammer, trying to look for a way through but not able to find it, and this will hamper his race, as Hammer is on the old soft tires and will have to pit here very shortly. And the gap for Revolution to Nico is just getting bigger and bigger while he's stuck behind Hammer here. And here comes Revolution, trying to make his way around Hammer, and he does, because he's on much fresher tires. And he will now try to close that gap down, but we'll jump down with Einzig here. Einzig, who's in the middle of the Renaults who have not pitted yet. And these tires, we will check here, will be much fresher, so his laps are, he's on just 1 lap used tires, while the guy in front of him, Blaze, is on 9 laps of tires used. So 10 laps into the Grand Prix now, and looking at the positions, Nico of course gained a position up to first position, but the major gainer is their Hammer, of course yet to pit though. So here we will see the gap to the leader. Currently it's Nico in the lead and has almost 3 seconds down to Revolution now, and then it's actually OEPs who's a fair bit back, as Hammer will have to pit, and Hammer then will drop down quite a fair bit once he makes his pit stop. As Hammer now pits, and Hammer who will be dropping down, I think all the way down to P8 or 9. We will see where he comes out here. So, Hammer in the Red Bull, in for a pit stop, on with a new set of tires, and it seems like a little bit of a slow pit stop there for Hammer, with A new set of mediums. Does he have medium, medium, soft maybe? And out of the pits, and will he be able to make it out in front of Lars in the AlphaTauri? He does, way in front. He's actually also in front of the Renault of Richard. So the field nicely spread out now. With Nico in the front, followed by Revolution. And Oeps in third, Dane in fourth, and Einzig in fifth. So it's a bit different from the last race we had in Australia, but Nico really showing what he's going for this time. Of course, Nico, who was doing well last time around, but did crash out of the race. Oh. As now the strategy will start coming into play here. As you see, everyone almost on the one stop so far, but looking at the tires, they are way different. So Oeps in third will actually have an advantage later on, as I think all of these guys will have to stop again, probably for the soft tires, except looking down, Richard, I believe, is on a medium soft, and then we have Lars and Blaze now on the hard tires trying to pull the one stopper. But I think the battle in the end might be between Nico and Revolution, even though we have now a gap of 2.5 seconds between the two of them. Shout out to Ludwig in chat. One of our viewers for today. As Fungus has dropped back a lot, and I wonder Fungus, how he looks. Fungus, which major damage to his front wing there, both the left and the right hand side. I wonder why he have not pitted for that much. That's why he is so far back at first. Currently though, Revolution just holding station behind Nico with about 2.5 seconds, more or less, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 2, and I wonder who that might be. In Sector 2, that might be Einzig, who has crashed, and Einzig's into the wall. Ooh, and that's a big, and he slams right into that wall, and that is a big part of his front wing. So, Einzig there, who will have to come in for that. Einzig with a good third position last time around, is not having the same good race as it did back in Australia. As we believe we will see him coming into the pits just after this left-hand turn here. And he does, so Einzig coming in just close enough there for his front wing, so we'll stick with him for it. So Einzig pits and he will drop back down to P10. As the new front wing comes on. And Einzig now on the hard tires, so he will not want to stop again. As this field is very evenly spread out, of course with less runners it's gonna be bigger gaps. As Fungus now pits, and he gets a 5-second penalty for spinning pit lane and retire. So that's Fungus out of the race. So with 2 retirements, we have Slouchy Carrot and Fungus out of the race. Meanwhile, Nico still about 2.6 2.7 seconds in front of Revolution, so just keeping that gap behind him, managing this race very well. And as the Renault of Richard now pits, as we now have a very close between the two Renaults, getting very close there in pits. And the battle is on. I wonder if there's team orders or if they will let them fight it out. As Richard now in P8 tries to overtake with his DRS, but just not close enough. But he does. They do go side by side on different tire strategies. Richard on the medium tires makes the pass, and I think that was a bit of team orders there, while Blaze is on the hard tires. So I suspect team orders, and Richard will have to put pedal to the metal to make those tires to good use now. Blaze actually showing himself in the rearview mirrors, but not trying to make a move. Blaze having a small lockup, and they both stick. So I wonder, I do really have to ask them if there is team orders in play here. Nico, of course, here, P1, with a solid race so far. Well, as we have Blaze again, maybe trying to make a move. Blaze with the DRS open, but not trying anything. So it's very likely here that team orders in play at the Renault team, and they will stay in their current position. Sadly, not too much on track battles. As we will go through a little bit here, we will try to stick. We'll see how hard they're fighting. So with Blaze, who's just not able to get the grip he wants, of course with the harder compound tires behind Richard on the medium compound tires there. And so far a very stable and secure race from Nico. Nico increasing his interval to Revolution bit by bit, slowly but surely, just to get that lead. As we are now on the halfway point of the race, and big gaps between all the drivers. I do think that we might actually see Nico getting close. We'll see if I can get the interval here from leaders. So does Ainsley currently 1 minute 15 seconds behind the leader, and that actually might become that he becomes lapped by the end of the race if it continues on like this. As we're with Jamie here. So Nico, leader of the race at the moment, is just pulling laps and laps and laps, and he is increasing his gap to the Revolution in second more and more and more, and that's looking very well done by him so far. So of course, this track is new in a sense to everyone, and but it seems like everyone has mastered it more or less of the guys here tonight. The track, of course, getting a little bit of flack for not being very nice. It's, from my own experience, very difficult to drive and not actually the most fun to race. But I am happy. The more races we have across the world, the better it is, in my opinion. And this track really puts the driver at test because there is a very few very difficult corners around here. As a Jamie pits, and I wonder what that is for. Another set of medium tires. And that puts Jamie back behind Einzig. But I do believe Einzig on the harder and Jamie on the mediums, and Jamie might actually come to battle him in the end of the race, and we will see the strategy come into play now. The medium, which I actually believe all the guys in front up until Lars there, so the first 5 guys might have to pit again. And that will put Lars still not in front, but he might have been contention for the guys in 4th and 5th. That will be interesting to see coming to the end of the race, as that is when we will see most of his strategies come into play. For now though, Jamie about 7 seconds behind as Einzig in P9, and he will have to close that gap, as Einzig will not do another pit stop. Jumping to another Mercedes is Nico in P1. As Nico, of course, just putting a good lap after lap. And now let's have a look and the race director see what we have had this race so far. So we can see the pit stops here. The first 5 drivers on the same strategy, followed by Lars on the soft to hard, which will be interesting. And then we have the Renaults with a 2 stopper so far from Richard, but only a 1 stop from Blaze. So that is interesting, and it's all the guys behind there has had a 2 stopper, so I think many of them have had an issue. Looking at incidents then, a lot of warnings, but not that many penalties as we saw last time around. We had Fungus earlier with a 3-second penalty, and then again Fungus with a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. We also have Richard with a 3-second penalty not too long ago, which we will maybe see playing into the end of the race. We have Blaze there. Blaze currently 5 seconds behind. He will have to close that gap by 2 and a bit of seconds, and I think if he's able to do that, he will gain position, so he might have to look at putting his heavy right shoe on. As Nico just very dominant so far in this race. The tires are not looking too bad either. Sadly, we don't have AWS insights to show us how much these tires are used, but they look pretty nice looking at this surface of them. Back with Revolution, who is P2, 4 seconds behind the leader now. But he is losing time every lap, and I think he will just try to settle down where he is with 8 laps to go now. And sadly not the most exciting race for us. So, what we will do is we will ride with Nico here, the fastest guy at the moment, and have a look with him for a lap. Oh, as now he pits. As Revolution behind as well pits, so that is very interesting as the both of them pit. And I guess they will put on another set of medium. Oh, the soft onto Nico. We'll see which type of tires. Maybe it's the soft as well. Soft as well for Revolution. So they're gonna have to maybe save a little bit of those tires, not to make them fall off the cliff by the end. Looking at the guys behind. Here comes Dane though. Dane on the medium as well. He will have to pit soon. Dane's tires are 11 laps old, so he will have to pit very shortly as well. Also onto the softs. The one who is a bit dangerous is actually Lars. Lars on the different strategy, which might pay out actually. So that will be interesting to see when Dane and Hammer and them pits. Just to see where that puts Lars and how much Lars can hold them off by the end of the race. So, 7 laps to go. As strategy is coming into play, we're gonna come with OEPS. OEPS currently in the lead, but of course yet to pit his last stop, which he will have to do this or next lap, I do suspect. As we can see, the tires are not very happy. He has a small lockup. He just does not have the grip he wants. But he goes on for another lap, and OEPS really pushing. But he will have to pit soon, otherwise it's gonna be a waste of those soft tires, not put to full use. Looking at the times, it seems like Nico is closing and closing and closing. So, OEPS will really want to pit this lap. Revolution now though has actually closed down almost a second to Nico in the pit stop. So again, Revolution had a better pit stop than Nico. But I do not think it will be enough for them. As we have a lovely shot here. And if Nico might be unlucky, if OEPS keeps staying out, he might actually hamper Nico enough for Revolution to actually catch up. So we will see. We see the lockup again for OEPS, and I do suspect that is just the tires going. As we see the car of Nico behind, and behind him we have Revolution. As Revolution will just be able to see the cars in front, and that will probably give him some morale to keep on pushing and keep on fighting, because the race isn't over until it's over. As we will see here, does OEPS choose to pit, or will he try to make these tires last? And it seems like he will try to pull a few more laps. So OEPS is really pushing his tires to the extent he can. As Revolution sets the fastest lap of the race with a 136.7, it's actually closing in to Nico, while Dane pits. This will not be good for Nico, so Nico will want to pass OEPs as quickly as he can with DRS now, because if he cannot make the move stick, Revolution will actually gain by it. But thanks to DRS, Nico makes the move really easily there, and sadly for us the viewers, there will not be that end fight that we wished for so far. Apps Dane, we will come with Dane here. Dane coming out of the pits now, and he will actually drop quite a few positions back. And I think Lars has actually done really well with his strategy. As the Hammer has not pit yet, I believe, has he? So Del Hammer will also have to pit soon. Looking at his tires, OEP's and Hammer's tires will be dead by now. As Revolution is actually getting close, he's within DRS distance to OEP's now. So yeah, that is OEP's he is close to. But if he managed to utilize that DRS, he might even close the gap down to Nico just a tiny bit as OEP's pits, and that is no good news, I think, for Revolution. Revolution who could have used DRS on the next straight here. As OEP's pit, and this will be interesting to see, will it come out behind or in front of Lars, and how will the tires then affect, as it seems like the guys behind are far behind now, so he will come out far in front of them, yeah. But Hammer, who was yet to pit, and I wonder will he try to make these tires last all the way? Is it possible for him to make them last all the way? That will be interesting. I think Lars has done a master stroke there, going on to a different strategy and selecting the hard instead of the medium on his first stop. Revolution, now in P2. Ooh, as I was gonna say, he is closing in. He does another big mistake, and he loses almost 3 seconds to Nico in front. He was closing down, but I think that is his chances gone unless Nico makes a mistake now. He's now 5 seconds behind, and he's not gonna be happy about that. Luckily though, he did not get any damage to his front wing, which he will be very happy with. Revolution just pushing that hard, I think, to close down to Nico in front. But Revolution in this Haas car just not able to do anything with that. He might have damage after all. We see the gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Looking that back though, Dane on the soft tires is really closing down into Lars. And this might actually be a battle coming to the end, because Lars on those hard tires have been out for a while now. As we see him closing and closing and closing. So I think within a lap or so we're gonna have a battle as Dane sets the quickest lap of the race with a 1:36.5. So quickest so far for Dane there in the Williams. As the gap is now reduced to less than a second, just half a second now. And Lars will have to do the defensive drive of his life if he wants to keep that P5, because Dane is coming through in a blaze of glory at the moment. As I think we will see Dane here have a look. As we do, and has a look on the inside, will he be able to make the move stick? As he gets his DRS open, I think that will be an easy move for Dane, as Lars tries to stick behind him, but cannot have a look, and that is the move done by Dane the Dangerous. So Williams' car really showing what it's worth tonight. As OEPS now in the AlphaTauri says that we have 1:36.3, so that's at least 1/10, almost 2 quicker than Dane. as we have 2 laps to go of the Vietnam Hanoi Grand Prix. As we see Revolution now dropping back and back and back. So I think, unless I have to keep my eye on the times, but I think OEPS is closing quite rapidly on Revolution. And if Revolution is unlucky, he might actually have to defend his place for P2. Day now though, closing in on yet another prey of Der Hammer in the Red Bull in front. And we can just see the gap shrinking. As Richard down to P7 gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I suspect that is for cutting the course. As Dane now will close, and I think he's just outside of DRS. He won't get that DRS now, but soon enough he will break into the DRS distance, and there we go. It's now less than a second, which of course is the barrier, or the time you have to be within to get the DRS flap to open. It's now half a second, but we might have to skip him and go up here to OEPS, the fight for P2. OEPS open DRS. Revolution not defending too much as OEPS makes the move stick for P2. We're down with Dane again for the fight for P4. But Der Hammer defending as much as he can. Not able to make the defensive game stick though, as Dane now up to P4. So Dane has made 2 positions rapidly there. As Revolution is now dropping further back into P3, but I do think he will be rather safe there, as he has now a 21 second gap down to Dane. Of course Dane very quick, but I do not think he's quick enough to close that gap down. As Hammer impressively is sticking on his tires, the medium tires, which are old by now. So he has 16 laps old mediums. Lars Peinemann 18 laps old hard, so he's gonna probably be a little bit faster there, but I don't think it's gonna be enough for the 2 laps or 1.5 remaining of the race. Revolution had a spin and he hit the wall earlier in the race. I do not have the replay now, but he had he had a big tag slapper at least. He didn't hit the wall. Sorry, that was another driver, but he had a big tag slapper, and I think he did hit something, but I didn't see him get any damaged. I suspect he does have damage to the car though. Sorry, my memory is all fuzzy, but I do think he spun and hit something, and has just been dropping down after that. His lap times have not been very good after he made the mistake. As Lars is actually now closing into their hammer, so we might see a last lap battle if we're lucky there. But for now we'll stick with Nico. Nico, who is been leading this lap from very early on the race, where he made the move from second to first, and has now made a gap of 17 seconds to P2. Coming in through the last few corners. And here comes Nico. He's just finishing off. Very well driven by Nico. Very, very well. As he comes down to the start-finish line to become the winner of the Vietnam Grand Prix. A very good job by Nico. Very, very well done. And a big step up from the last race where he had to retire. But for the rest of the grid, the race isn't over. Big congratulations, Nico. We're going to come down to OEPS here in the AlphaTauri. Now crossing the line as second position, so the silver medal for OEPS there. Down to Revolution, the Revolution who's been dropping back a lot, sadly to see, but he does manage to make it onto the podium in P3 as he takes the checkered flag here in Hanoi. Then we have Dane, and I do believe Dane still has to lap. Dane with P4. Dane who's been rapid here in the latter part of the race. Down to Lars then. Lars on a master strategy, making a position thanks to that in P5, followed by Hammer right behind him in P6. Down to the Renaults. The Renaults started on the back end. Actually, both of them gained a few positions. With Richard with a time penalty though, crossing the line in P7. That time penalty is not going to cost him anything, I believe, as Blaze comes up to the start finish line in P8. And last but not least, that's Einzig, who picks up yet another little time penalty there, but it's not going to cost him anything, as Einzig comes over into the start finish straight. And to finish off in 9th place here in Hanoi, of course, with Jamie Pounder, finish off the P10. Only 10 finishers here in Hanoi in the Vietnam GP. As their Hammer gets the driver of the day. And here we have them, the top 3 drivers, with Nico to take the win. And of course, the champagne! So, with a look at the standings, Mercedes showing their power in their AMD Petronas car, with Nico in top spots. AlphaTauri then, a strong show as well. P2 from OEPS, a little bit out of the blue I think, but he had a good race, and that of course due to Revolution with damage I suspect in his Haas there. So Revolution, not the race he wanted. He had a very good start, but then dropped back a little bit as Nico overtook him, and the race went down from there. P4, Dane the Dangerous, who was very quick and didn't actually get the weakest lap. That was OEPS in P2. But Dane, who was very quick in the end, closing a lot in P4 in the Williams. Followed by Lars in 5th. And that's that. I will see if we are able to get a interview here. So I'll jump into Discord and see if anybody, I don't think we might have anybody to talk to us. I will see what I can do. Maybe not. Where do we have them? Yeah, so sadly I don't think we might actually get that position that we, or that interview for tonight. Nevertheless, a very good race. Not as intense as the last one, but very good, and I have to say big congratulations to Nico and OWEPS for capitalizing and getting that P2. Sadly, I don't think we will have anyone with us trying to look for them. Nope. So that concludes the Vietnam GP. Thank you everybody for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. In oh, I should have had that. Actually, I'll see if I can get a hold of Nico here. So yeah, a race where we had a few crashes, but well driven by Nico. Nico, who made the overtake early on and made it stick and just increased his gap. as we will have Nico with us here very shortly. While we're waiting for him, next race is the 23rd, so that is in a week's time. That will be in Netherlands. As I'm losing the track name, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Of course, I know it. So the Netherlands will be very interesting with a new track and the big banking of 30 degrees, which of course, or 33 even, which I am very excited about. Hello, this is Nico with us. Big congratulations, I'm very well driven today, very well driven. Let me just see that I have you with us here on stream. It's a little bit messing up with me. So, yeah, well driven today. Very well driven.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
So you did the overtake early on, and then you just increased that gap. Did you feel you felt well? I guess, and you liked the track.
I like the track. I don't know, but
It almost got you there.
yeah, but the early overtake was important. Yeah, nothing to say actually.
Oh well, I gotta say that was well driven. And did you feel that the car was good today? Did it stick to the track? I mean, you seem to be very smooth and calm, and you just controlled
Yeah,
your own race.
I was actually surprised because I had a lot of straight line speed. In the corners, in the last sector mainly, it was a bit slidey, but yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, and how did you feel? I mean, you were overall, of course, the quickest, not only because you won, but you did increase the gaps behind a lot. And
Yeah, it was mainly in the second stint with the mediums. The last, I think, Revolution was definitely quicker, but he made a mistake. Yeah, the car was okay. I would say it was nothing brilliant.
yeah, as a Revolution, of course, he did push, I think, a little bit too much to
Yeah.
catch you there, and I think he hit the wall. I couldn't see any visible damage, but he, yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it. My English very bad. Sorry. Um, I've seen it at the end. It was the right front wing. It was a lot of damage.
oh, okay, I
Yeah.
did not see
He
that,
he
of course.
lost about 20 seconds, I think.
Yeah, he actually, OEPS finished in P2 thanks to
Yeah.
that, so OEPS really capitalizing and driving past there.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, big congratulations today and very well driven. And
Yeah. Thank you.
big step up from last time. I think you're very happy.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
not spinning today.
Yeah. And yeah, just keeping your calm. So again, big congratulations, and I hope you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hope you get next time as well of race next time around in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Zandvoort. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'll see you next week.
I say
Yeah.
bye.
Bye bye. And with that, everyone, that is the conclusion of the Vietnam Grand Prix. So I see you in Zandvoort in the Netherlands next week. Don't miss out.